Okay.
But I still am stuck on the idea that you're saying he has, because would you say he had two wills and two minds?
That's the part where I'm trying to wrap my head around as well.
Yeah, I don't actually understand that because I don't hold to that. I'm just trying to make sense of it if Jesus doesn't know things that the Father knows.
Interesting. How are they saying?
Yeah, you probably have to say he has, I'm just trying to maybe steel man you. You probably have to say he has two different minds. One mind that knows everything as God, and one mind that doesn't know everything as human, but I don't know where the Bible teaches that. That's my thing is, I'm not, my main critique of the hypostatic union, the two natures doctrine, is that it's simply not taught in the Bible. I think you can maybe point to some verses, but you're never going to see a biblical author say Jesus Christ had two natures.
Interesting.
It's from my critical perspective, it's a theological solve that is required if you're going to posit the Trinity, although it's not found in the text. That's my big problem with all the ecumenical councils as far as the nature of God is they're positing things that are not found in the biblical text. They're actually, I don't know if you're familiar with the Hellenization of Christianity. Have you ever heard of that word before?
I've heard of it, not researched it.
Hellen means Greek in Greek. Yeah. So basically what it means is in the first probably 4 centuries, the early Christians took Greek philosophy and metaphysics and their way of speaking, and they read that into the biblical text, and they proselytized or evangelized with Greek terms, philosophical terms, that the people in that time were familiar with and actually worshiped a god. I don't know if you're familiar with like Platonism. That's like the god of Aristotle and Plato. They conceived of a god that was the greatest conceivable being, and that it was being itself, and that it was all-powerful and all-knowing and unbound. Those attributes, although not necessarily biblical, were accepted by the Christians and then used to make Christianity more palatable to those who already accepted that God. And so my position would be they're simply reading the New Testament and the Old Testament with Greek glasses on. And that's why they're getting all these interesting doctrines that, to be fair, they didn't have apostles to guide them. And so they were doing the best they could, but I just think they got it wrong. And that's the point of the Book of Mormon. Right. To bring it full circle is we believe God came and said, these were wrong, and now I'm here to restore, just like he called Moses after he called Noah, after he called Abraham, after he called Enoch, after he called Adam. He's called prophets from the beginning to clarify and teach, and that we do see it when apostles are removed, when prophets are removed, we see a corruption of truth, essentially.